So, what goes on inside the mind of Bill Gates? Like, really? Well, today we're going to find out. We're breaking down a really fascinating conversation to see what truly makes him tick.
This whole thing started with a dream. During the pandemic, an interviewer named Raj Shamani told his sister that one day he was going to sit down with Bill Gates and get inside his brain. Well, he actually made it happen. And now we're going to do the same thing.
Okay, so that's the big question, right? What does it actually look like in there? I mean, what occupies the mind of the man who co-founded Microsoft, kicked off a philanthropic revolution, and is still trying to shape our future? Let's dive in. All right, so the first stop on our tour inside his mind is the global strategist. And for Gates, one of the most exciting places on the map right now is India.
You see, his connection with India goes way, way back to the early Microsoft days. But back then, it was all about one thing: hiring the absolute smartest engineers and bringing them over to the US. But now? Oh, it's a completely different story. He sees India as this hotbed where world-changing solutions are being invented right on the ground.
And the engine behind all of this is a really cool idea: frugal innovation. Now, this isn't just about making stuff cheaper. Not at all. It's about creating something of huge value, but at a much lower cost. He's seeing it everywhere, from better seeds for farmers to incredible health diagnostics and even AI, all designed to be affordable, not just for India, but for the whole world.
And look, Gates himself says it best. This innovation explosion, it's a total win-win. It's this powerful engine for progress that's going to benefit everyone, everywhere.
So all of this global thinking, it actually comes from a really personal place. Let's pivot from how he sees the world to how he sees his own wealth, because his ideas about money, well, they're pretty unconventional, even countercultural for a lot of people.
All right, pop quiz. If you're one of Bill Gates' kids, how much of his insane fortune do you think you're going to inherit? The answer is this much. Less than 1%. Yeah, you heard that right.
So why? Well, for him, it's pretty straightforward. He just doesn't believe in creating a dynasty. He feels like handing over that kind of money wouldn't be doing his kids any favors. He wants them to go out and find their own way, their own purpose. It's about empowering them, not trapping them in wealth.
And, Gates points out this is part of a bigger shift he's seeing, especially with tech founders. Their whole approach to giving back is just more aggressive. It's not about just donating the profits, the apples from the tree. No, it's about giving away the whole tree, the roots, the trunk, the base capital that made the fortune in the first place.
Okay, so how on earth did he build a fortune that big to begin with? This radical idea of giving it all away was built on an equally radical way of earning it. And that takes us right to the core of how he operates, his personal playbook.
Listen, the Bill Gates we see today is a totally different person from the guy who built Microsoft. Back in his 20s, he says it himself, he was a maniac. Just this super narrow, intense focus on software. We're talking 72-hour work sessions just running on pure adrenaline. Today, that raw energy has morphed into something else: wisdom, a broader perspective, and this real commitment to just always be learning.
But here's the thing. He doesn't regret that early intensity one bit. He actually sees it as a strategic move. His advice is basically, if you're young and you're in a competitive race, your 20s, before you have a family and other big responsibilities, that's the time to just go for it, to be a little maniacal. So if you boil it all down, you get his personal playbook for success. It's really three things. 1, always be a student. Never stop reading, never stop questioning what you think you know. 2, embrace that maniacal focus, especially when you're young. And 3, build connected knowledge. Be smart about what you learn so every new piece of information links together into this powerful worldview.
Which, of course, brings us to the future. I mean, what's on the mind of a guy who has already fundamentally changed the world? Well, it turns out it's a mix of some really big hopes and some pretty serious fears.
Apparently, he keeps a running list of about 5 huge global risks. And yeah, they're the big ones: getting AI right, making sure we avoid another pandemic, preventing nuclear war and bioterrorism, and of course, tackling climate change. These are the massive existential threats he's thinking about.
Okay, but take away all those huge global problems for a second. What is he afraid of personally? What's his biggest personal fear? And it's really not what you'd expect. It's not about failing or becoming irrelevant. His number one fear is losing the very thing that has defined his entire life: his ability to learn. He says he's just had such an incredible time learning things, and the idea that his brain might one day be less capable, That's what truly gets to him.
So that leads to one last question. After a whole lifetime of building and learning and changing the world, if he could solve just one more problem for good, what would it be? What's the final legacy he's trying to build?
His goal is actually pretty amazing. He wants to take a single word, a word that's been a source of so much pain and suffering, and just erase it from our vocabulary. Make it so outdated that our grandkids would have to Google it to even know what it was.
And that word is polio. That's his ultimate ambition. He hopes that one day people will see the word polio and just kind of scratch their heads and go, wait, what was that?
And get this isn't just some far-off dream, it's actually happening. Thanks to the work of his foundation and its partners, polio is on track to be completely gone, eradicated within the next 5 years. That would make it only the second disease in all of human history after smallpox to be completely wiped out. Just incredible.
So we've had a peek inside the mind of Bill Gates. His focus right now is to turn polio into a memory. And that leaves us with one final thought, a question for you. What problem will you help solve?